There are some assignment that is not for softies. I just want to live my life. Please don't stress me. I'm not going to stress anybody. You can't become much that way. You either get tough or you are grounded. This system does not appreciate those who are too soft. You have to find a way to master strength. You'll be forgotten in a hurry unless you are strong. There's no other way. Is that okay? There's no other way. You have to be strong. If you are a weakling, life will serve you hot. If you are strong, life will serve you hot. Either ways. So just choose to be strong. I don't like trouble. You can't become much like that. Trouble is part of the pathways necessary to emerge. Same way when you are flying, they tell you we're about approaching a turbulent region. Please belt it and tighten your seatbelt. Hey, as you go in life, you will approach turbulent regions. Fast, you can't come down from the flight. Belt and enter. Fasten your seatbelt. And when you enter and it's shaking, tell yourself, I was born for this. You say, how do I get up? No. Nobody ever becomes. History doesn't favor timid people. Nobody becomes much with timidity. You have to learn strength. You will charge it. Stand. Stand your ground. Tell your neighbor, stand your ground. Tell your other neighbor, stand your ground. You can't become much if you're always buckling. I don't know what I'm. All you have to do to get into trouble is to get everything right. What did I say? All you have to do to get into trouble is to. Most times the first phase of your destiny is trouble. Because you can start facing trouble for what you don't know anything about. The one fighting you can guess what your life is about. The one defending you knows. The only one that is clueless is you. Okay? The devil fighting knows. You are wondering, what is it about my life? Why all this? What is not it about you? The issue is you are judging yourself based on your account balance. If only you know what will be that has not yet been. I'm telling you, that's the reason why there are clusters of attacks against your soul, against your destiny. That's why he's trying to bleed you out. But stand. When people charge at me, I tell myself I'm busy and they're busy too. You type what you are typing in 1 minute, you forget about me, I forget about you. I continue. Stand your ground. Tell another neighbor, stand. You are postponed entering into destiny for too long. Oh Lord, I'm too young for this. When God gives you the scepter of authority early, take it early. Imagine David saying, I can't kill Goliath, I'm just 17. Destiny is opening for him at 17. It may open for another at 40. That's not your business. When it opens for you, enter. Even if the person that is opening for at 40 is your dad, you are not him. You don't listen to people's story to repeat it. Listen to what I'm saying. What is inspiring you about their story can come earlier for you. And that's why. Can I give you a bit of tea? Let me give you an advice. There are relationships you don't force. You know why? They will come on a platter of bigger honor. There are DMs you don't send because you will meet at the same table. And if you have sent DM ahead, they will take you as a subordinate. Wait, the time is coming. The door will open with honor. It's basic. Do you understand what I'm saying here? The time is. It will come. Though it tarry, wait for it. Please be seated. I'm telling you. When David was going to face Goliath, the devil tried to blackmail him through Eliab. So I know your pride. You have left the few sheep that our father kept with you to come and see what is happening here. But the guy didn't come to see. He came to win. Including both the whole king, the whole Israel, and the fellow tried to shut him down. Will enter into captivity unless this boy is there. What I'm saying is that part of those trying to shut you down are the people you have been sent to rescue. And you must do your job. Just do your job. Say, look at you. What do you think will be Eliab's reaction when the noise went out in the camp of Israel that the head of Goliath had fallen? I know what it could have been. That's my brother. name is David Jesse. I'm Eliab Jesse. Even family members that didn't send you money in school will say, that's my... Everything you put your hands go. You self go be a boss. Amen. Be seated. Let me tell you this, and I've said it again and again, but till you hear it. The way life happens, the courageous will always lead the gifted. It is not gifts that put people in the seat of power. It is audacity. The lion is the king of the jungle, not for strength, not for speed, but for mentality. As a man thinks in his heart, so easy. You are important, and that should not be an information. Okay. You can, when people compliment you, you respond, but it should not be a validation. You should always come from the point of, I know who I am. Okay? But let me show you a few things that we probably read through in a hurry while reading that passage. The one that God was going to use to rescue the Egyptian was born, and to rescue the Israelite, was born at a time that a decree has gone out that the male children of the Hebrews should be killed. Why that time? It simply tells us that there is no coincidence in the spirit realm. Every battle, every attack is timed. What about the remaining children that were killed in that time? Collateral damage. Who inspired it? The devil. Sometimes the devil doesn't know who amongst all the children in the family is that one that will bruise his head. But since I don't know who, and they're all together, let's fight all of them. Since we don't know who in this generation is going to destroy my work, and then let's attack. Some parents are under attack for the kind of children they have given birth to. And the devil knows the only way to bring the child down is to fight the parent. Then the home becomes toxic, and the place becomes dysfunctional. Then the dysfunctionality will affect the progress of the child. Then the child becomes defective and can't enter destiny. But every time he tries it, it fails. Because God now used that dysfunctionality to reorientate that child, to add more to his assignment, and also bring out those in dysfunctionality. Once we are a seed, there is nothing that can be done against us, but for us. The idea is, if you go through that situation well, the devil should bite his finger for allowing you go through it. If people will understand this, you know that there are some things that will not work on the end time armies. Intimidation is not one of them. It's not. We'll become many. Oh God. Are you with me? Let's speak between the lines. So, Moses was among the children that should be killed. But he was rescued. And somehow, in the wisdom of God, he was raised in the palace of those that he will later have to fight. Now that's a bit tricky. He was raised in the palace of Pharaoh. But the whole system will have to crumble because of Moses. And God now did it in such a way that they will not become emotionally biased. That because I have eaten their bread, I can't go against them. They employed his mother to be his nurse. And in the process, she kept telling him, you are dressed like them, or you are not one of them. I am your mother. You see those guys out there? Those are your siblings. You are an Hebrew. You may be in the world. You are not of the world. You might have benefited from the system so that you will know how to destroy the system. I was a DJ. So if I get to where these things are happening, I change form. And I know exactly what to say and what not to say. I have been suicidal When I see somebody who is suicidal, I know exactly what to say. Because what you survive produces an anointing. And that's why the devil, once you survive it, he regrets letting you go through it. If the prince of this world had known, they would not have crucified. There's a regret in hell that you survived what you survived. There's a regret. We're going somewhere. So he was learned in the wisdom of the Egyptians. This is a lot tricky. It's a very dicey point. I prayed to God for utterance. Because the one who is at the same level with you cannot bring you out. Two small people can help each other. At best, they will share wisdom that will not produce a result. Say, give me wisdom, give me wisdom. This one talk deep. What deep? But there's no, it takes the one who knows how to get things done to bring you out. Part of the criteria needed in a deliverer is track record. He learned their language. He learned their wisdom. He could stand tall amongst them. But that's also tricky. He knew, I am not one of them. His brethren thought, you are one of them. Destiny can put you in such a way that you are an enemy to your enemy, and you're also an enemy to your people. It's a lonely path. And if you see Moses, he will ask, what's wrong with my life? To every Moses here, there's nothing wrong with you. It's a call of destiny. Say, how come I don't have a side? Because you are not to have a side. It will take time. He was moving every day, and one day he saw an Egyptian beating one of the Hebrews. He looked around, went and defended his own person, and killed the Egyptian. Actually, what was supposed to start from there? A revolution. Where there's understanding. But you know what started from there? Strife. This happened. I'm going to trace the calendar for you. This started happening. The prophecy ahead of them was that they would spend many years in slavery. 400 years in a strange land. This began in their 390th year. Plus minus. Exactly on 400 or before. The Bible said, he taught that they should know that God will deliver them by him. So whenever he was walking past, he thought they should know that I'm the one that will bring you out. He somehow found himself on the pages of certain books and knew that this is my role. He knew this before he met God in the burning bush. You cannot deep things about yourself without big drama. He knew that. Can we read that? Acts 7. Look at it. Let's go to verse 23. And when he was full 40 years old, he came to his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. And seeing one of them suffered wrong, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed, and smote the Egyptian. For he supposed that his brethren would have understood how that by his hand he will deliver them, but they understood not. So he must have encountered the document that with Abraham there was 400 years promise. This is the 390th year. Your deliverance should start now. But they did not know. You know why? They were not expecting freedom. Were they crying? Yes. Were they groaning? Yes. But for the rigor, not for freedom. Do you know why this is a very serious matter? The generation he went to save. Hey, dear Moses, this is where your assignment gets critical. You want to bring people into something that they don't know what it means to be there. They've never been freed. That generation were born slaves. This was their 390th year. From cradle, all they have known was slavery. It was difficult to imagine freedom because they've never been free. How can you desire what you have never had and what you don't even know what it feels like to have it? So there was no desire because they've never known the free nation of Israel. The ones that knew what freedom looked like, they were dead. So he taught that they would understand that God by his hand will deliver them. So the strength and the agility with which he was doing what he was doing was with the assumption that they knew. It is dangerous to be free around those who have no revelation of your freedom. Okay. He was being free to do that because he felt the secret to be covered. We should both know. But it was error. The fellow before that he rescued didn't know Jack. That one big offense. You see that? We speak wisdom amongst them that are mature. Guy got offended. Say they understood not. Look at verse 26. Now, verse 26. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove. So the same people now are now fighting themselves. And would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, you are brethren. Why do you wrong? You are both in captivity. Why did you leave your oppressors to fight yourselves? Does that look like the tale of a nation? That leave those that they are together under the same bondage and face their fellow people, and they will stone one to death for stealing soap, and will clap for the other for stealing billions. So they were fighting. Look at what they said. Verse 27. But he that did his neighbor wrong said, thrust him away, trusted Moses away, saying, who made you a ruler and a judge over us? Will you kill me as you did the Egyptian yesterday? And Moses fled at this saying, and was a stranger in the land of Midian, where he begat how many sons? 4 sons. Verse 30. And 40 years were expired. Like that. Deliverance came. It was not the whole nation of Israel that said, who made you a judge? But the one who spoke was the one that the deliverer heard. And when he heard him on behalf of the nation. And he went on leave for 40 years. And their deliverance went on leave for 40 years. And God agreed. You know why? The system of God is man. And sometimes to despise man is to despise freedom. 40 years. He went and got married, did honeymoon. But that's on the flip side. Let's look at this other side. What do you think will be on Moses' mind in those 40 years? The man who knew what the pleasure of the palace felt like. Say, I know I have a problem. I know I should not have done this. You don't have a problem. You are exactly doing what you should be doing. The fact that you fell into trouble doesn't mean you are wrong. You must know how to maintain your convictions despite trouble. Trouble doesn't mean that you are wrong. You can say the right thing that God expects you to say, and the next result is sack letter. You are still correct. It is not good outcome that shows what is accurate. Sometimes the way the enemy reacts shows you have touched something. So don't validate what you have done by the pleasantness of the outcome. When you touch the enemy where it ought, he will fight that. And you may bleed, but you are right. Moses will say, I should not have touched that guy now. I'll be trouble. No. You began a process that God was ready for. They were not ready for. So you are correct. Was God ready for their deliverance? Yes. Bible said it's supposed that they will know that God about this time will rescue them by who? Him. Sometimes people recognize that there should be a rescue, but they feel the fellow God will use it. It's not, how can it be this person? The same way they look at the Messiah and feel, is he not the carpenter's son? God specializes in putting powerful things in small package so that the excellency of glory can come to him. He won't put it where you expect, so you will not feel the fellow did by his own strength. They could not believe that the Messiah will come as a carpenter's son, born in the manger. Do you know what a manger is? The first sound he heard was meh. You would think the whole earth will shake and there'll be gold everywhere. No, what we have was sheep and goats. And that's the most important personality that will ever walk the face of the earth. Somewhere in a manger, being born. There was no earthquake. Stop expecting drama. Just enter. No earthquake. So everyone will shake. Oh, behold the Messiah. No. He grew up like normal children. They will send him, go and buy bread. He will go and buy bread. That is the most important person that will walk the face of the earth. As a matter of fact, no real man ever walked earth until Jesus came. He was called Son of Man because he was the accurate definition of man. Man that God intended never emerged. It was when Jesus came that man emerged. So God said, this is my beloved son in whom I am. Well, and that guy was where? Manger. So who is telling you that somebody that will shake the world can't be in a one-room apartment or cotton? If the Savior can be in a manger, where are you? Are you in a manger? Listen, please be seated. The devil will try to use those contradictions to tell you that that's your what. But you must understand that this is God's strategy to hide important things in unimportant places. There are many reasons he does that. Number one, is so that you will not walk in pride. Number two, it will also make it so that people will not discern you in a hurry, so that they will not crown you too early, and then you will not be formed. It will allow you go through the same processes. Somebody will break your heart, and it may be you that will serve somebody breakfast. But it doesn't change the fact. Listen, if we all take selfies now and open those pictures in under 10 years, we will be shocked at the quality of persons we are seated by that does not look like it. Have you seen maybe important personalities? Then you now see on social media they bring out their old NYC pictures. It does not yet appear what we shall become. Tell your neighbor, celebrate me now. Sometimes in a campus fellowship, the one that God will use for that generation, the entire generation, may not even be selected as president because they hate his attitude. But God is saying, that's yours. I did not allow him to become president so he can learn to lead from the back. Your real validation is not about being number one. Sometimes God allow you number two, number three, behind, somewhere in the crowd, so that certain forces won't have your time. And you are imagining, and the council is being born. It is God's system. He has done it again and again and again, and it is working. And every time he does it, the devil falls for it. The devil falls for it. I'm telling you. What's today's date? Next week, Wednesday, she'll make it a year that we got into this city. Now, listen. If you saw how we came, you will not believe that this can be a Bible study. It got so bad. Coming from a branch of our church where we had erected our own structure, and I have my office, the reception, everywhere air conditioned, and God said, get out. And coming to a city where I will have to arrange white chairs together to have as my office desk and sit down. This is not 20 years ago, this is last year. And one time, I became angry. I want to get a house in Abuja. They tell you, go up your budget. I said, do you know how much? Do you know how much the kind of houses we get in Ibadan? And sometimes I will ask those agents, you, where are you living? And in the middle of that, God said, look from the window. I looked. He said, son, I will give you a seat in this city. It didn't make sense. We're at the meeting today with the engineers where we're drafting plan for the construction. It didn't make sense. Sometimes God doesn't allow noise around you so you can bear root. By the time you come out, people will say this is a voice from nowhere. The root is deep. Let me advise you. Allow him finish what he does with obscurity. There is something he achieved with obscurity. Allow him do it. So you'll be strong and tough. Be seated for a while. Are you with me? Sometimes progress can be from up, down, but it's still progress. In fact, God considered that down a more excellent place. In fact, you are fulfilling destiny more. God can say relocate to Abuja, and having done that, you expect everything will open up. No, the doors are shut, so that you can emerge by faith, by trusting God, and it will make sure nobody pities you, so you can grow. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes God doesn't allow favor come because the strategy for that season is not favor. It needs what is on you to mature. It is that thing that will bring you out. It's that. So nobody will take the glory and say, if not for us in your life. No. That's not his intention. What God is doing, only him will take the glory. Oh yes. So you will see people favor. Nothing is wrong with you. That's not God's strategy for you. If we decree we're not favored, there are people that will not be wet. Not because they have bad luck. Hello. If you pitied Joseph as a butler and tell them about him, what would they bring him out as? Junior butler. Kedawan. But what was God's plan? The day you come out, prime minister. Favor will bring junior butler. What is here? Prime minister. If they call for those with near success syndrome, it will come out. But you don't have problem. That thing needs to mature. And there was a sign it matured. Because when Pharaoh said bring him, the Bible said they brought him in hastily. Then Joseph shaved himself. They were rushing. Let's go. Pharaoh calls him up. Say, hold on. And he went before the mirror, shave himself, and then say, can I get a change of clothes? A change. What was he saying? With what I have, I'm not going back. If he didn't learn that, and he stood before Pharaoh as a prisoner, and interprets dream as a prisoner in that uniform, Pharaoh will never think of him as he can take him as one powerful to interpret dreams, but not one sophisticated to be a prime minister. That one goes beyond talent. You must look like it. There is a point where